Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 4 of Beneath the Surface, an A&G Concrete Pools podcast. As always, I'm your host, Luke Hannon, and today we have a special episode. We will be going through the top 20 questions asked by our clients about the construction process, the design process, different materials, different design trends, essentially everything that is involved when going to build a swimming pool with A&G Concrete Pools. So we hope you stick around for the entirety of the episode. There's a lot of interesting topics that we get to cover. And to begin, let's start with the first question. We're just starting the process and trying to wrap our heads around the timeline. How long does it actually take to build a custom pool from start to finish? We've heard everything from a few weeks to a year, and we're just not sure what's realistic. All right, this is a fantastic question to start us off, and we're gonna break it down into 3 phases. So that first phase that we're going to talk about is the design process. Now, when you first make a call to A&G, when you connect either with the website or via phone with one of our designers, that's where the process really begins. They contact you in return and begin discussing the different elements of your vision that you imagine for your backyard. They'll then come out, do an at-home consultation, and that's where things really start to come to life. And you figure out exactly how much space you have, what it is that you're working with in terms of different features, the feasibility of different materials, different design elements, and it all begins to come together. From there, the designer will create a finalized design and proposal, present that to you, and then you do a final material selection, and that's it. The entirety of the process is relatively simple, with most clients being able to complete the design phase in 2 to 4 weeks. Of course, if a project is more complex or you'd like to explore more design variations, that timeline can extend out maybe 6 to 8 weeks if you're really thorough about what it is that you're looking for. But I would say as a general rule, most individuals are able to get a 2 to 4 week design phase. From there, it goes on to the permitting phase. Now, A&G does the entirety of this in-house. We have our own permitting director who controls everything that we do in terms of submitting to the municipalities. You don't have to worry about any of that. That process for most municipalities takes somewhere between 3 to 5 weeks. So let's say a month roughly. Then we're able to go ahead and begin digging the swimming pool. So that process generally takes for most pools somewhere between 6 and 8 weeks. We're incredibly proud of this timeline, and it's something that's brought by an incredible team of in-house employees, schedulers, construction managers, engineers, craftsmen who are able to be on the job site nearly every day and allow that incredibly fast completion time. So overall, let's return to those 3 phases. Design taking roughly 1 month, permitting also taking roughly 1 month, and then construction taking somewhere between 6 and 8 weeks. So let's say 2 months for argument's sake. So in total, from the time of your first phone call to the time that you're swimming with your loved ones, that is roughly a 4-month window. We're incredibly proud to be able to bring you that timeline, and it allows you to enjoy, for example, right now as we're here in summer, your swimming pool before the season ends. So you're not waiting a year, you're not waiting 18 months to have your backyard become that finished vision. You don't have to worry about extended construction timelines, making your backyard unusable otherwise. Our team is incredibly efficient and highly professional, and that allows them to get in and out of a job site and bring your waterscape to life as quickly as possible. There are so many materials to choose from. How do we decide between concrete, fiberglass, or vinyl? We want something that lasts but also looks incredible, and it's hard to know what really performs best long term. So that's another great question. There are 3 main materials when it comes to pool construction: vinyl, fiberglass, and concrete. Now, concrete might be applied in a shotcrete or a gunite-based method. What that is simply the manner in which the concrete is sprayed and mixed together as it is done so. So A&G Concrete Pools specializes entirely in gunite swimming pools. That is pneumatically sprayed concrete, and that is allowing for the most customizability as well as the greatest degree of flexibility in terms of shape and feature set. So we're able to bring almost any element to life, whether that be unique dimensions on your steps, an extended sun shelf, a raised spa, raised pillars for fire water bowls. All those elements are within our grasp, and we're able to customize them down to the nearest inch to make sure they're the right distance and the right scale for you and your family. Now, to take a look at that first material, vinyl. Vinyl is a great option if you're looking to get into a very affordable swimming pool. The unfortunate downside is they do come with rather frequent replacements. So that vinyl liner as a result of the floored end. Now, the advantage of this is that it does decrease construction timelines because the entirety of the shell is simply dropped into the existing hole. However, there are some issues when it comes to, again, the Florida environment, the extensive sun exposure that we have, it can deteriorate the fiberglass shell. Some individuals have reported pieces of fiberglass drifting off from the main shell into the body of water, which can be highly dangerous. It's not incredibly common, but as a result of the weather that we have here, it is theoretically possible. Others will note that a resurfacing has to take place about 2 years before anticipated. So again, in other parts of the country with less harsh weather, we might be looking at a 7-year lifespan before you need to do any kind of resurfacing on a fiberglass pool. In Florida, that timeline can get shrunken down to 5 years. So it is something to consider. Again, a lower introductory cost, but at the same time, that maintenance can be expensive on the back end, and it can come quicker than you might imagine. Now, exploring gunite pools in terms of longevity, that's going to be your absolute best option if you're looking for something that is going to stand the test of time. These gunite shells are shot with 4,000 PSI concrete. What that means is for the majority of us, our swimming pools might outlast even us or our tenure in the home. So the only real long-term maintenance that needs to be done on a swimming pool beyond sort of standard chemicals is going to be the resurfacing of the interior finish. Now, as opposed to a 3-year timeline or a 5-year timeline, we see most pools are in need of resurfacing somewhere between 12 and 15 years. So you're making that larger investment up front, but those replacement costs don't come till much, much later. And when it does come time to replace that interior finish, the process is relatively simple. The pool is drained down, the surface is prepped, and the new finish is applied. So nothing that requires any extensive amount of labor or any headaches. And there's something that we can assist you with as well when it comes time to do so. So that's a quick rundown of the different options. A&G Concrete Pools is exclusively a gunite pool builder. The reason for that being we believe it is truly the best option available to you, not only for tailoring a swimming pool to your exact needs, but for standing up to the harsh weather that Florida can bring and making sure that you and your loved ones have a swimming pool, not just for this summer, not just for next, but for countless years to come. What's trending in high-end pool design right now? We keep seeing infinity edges, sun shelves, and fire features, but are those just flashy trends or genuinely worthwhile elements? Now, this question parlays nicely into what we were just talking about with the customizability offered by gunite swimming pools. So there are certain trends that have become more prevalent, particularly as we've evolved in the 21st century. Things like geometric pools, things like minimalist design styling. Infinity edges are certainly more prominent than ever. Large sun shelves are almost a must for a lot of clients. But at the end of the day, A&G Concrete Pools has the ability to customize the entirety of your backyard to exactly what your needs are. If you're someone who enjoys swimming laps and wants to optimize the swim space available to them, we can create a layout that's perfect for that activity. If you're looking just to create a space with some gentle ambiance, include a few water features, and maybe enjoy some tanning on a sun ledge, we can do that as well. The options are truly limitless when it comes to exactly what it is that you would like to include. In terms of large trends in 2025, elements like fire water bowls, raised water feature walls, sunken fire pits, infinity edges, and illusion spots have become more and more prevalent. Now, these features aren't perfect for everybody, nor perfect for every lot, but for those who would like to explore something beyond the standard, they're a great place to begin and gain inspiration for your unique backyard. Do we really need a spa, or is that more of a luxury add-on? We love the idea of it, but we're wondering how often people actually use them. Spas are a fantastic addition to the standard waterscape. Now, similarly to our last question, that's going to be entirely dependent on what it is that you want from the space. If you're looking for something to relax, something that allows you to enjoy your swimming pool year-round, a spa is a worthwhile addition because it allows you to not only add an element of relaxation to your swimming pool, but one of hydrotherapy as well. Adding a spa also gives you greater flexibility in terms of use of your pool. As we get into the later seasons, air temperatures drop and so do water temperatures. Having a spa can allow you to enjoy your swimming pool year-round, whether that be day or night. It's a perfect addition to almost any waterscape, and for those looking to add that relaxation element, there may be no better option. Now, as a gunite builder, we can customize the spa, just like the pool, to the perfect dimensions for you and your family. These adjustments can be fine-tuned to each of our clients depending on their unique needs. So if you're looking to add an element that really emphasizes the relaxation that a waterscape can bring, there may be no better option than adding on a spa. We honestly have no idea where to begin. What's the first step in getting a custom pool designed? Do we need to talk to a designer, get a survey, or pull permits first? So when it comes to starting the process of looking at a custom pool, the best thing that you can do is contact a company like A&G Concrete Pools and begin speaking with a designer right away. They're going to be able to tell you what's feasible for your space, take a look at your survey, understand the lot lines, and provide you with an idea of what are the options available for you. If you have a smaller lot, there might be some adjustments that need to be made. Certain features may be more feasible than others, and certain elements may be better suited to that specific yard. Conversely, if you have a massive lot and you have plenty of space, how do you take up that room, and what's the balance between natural elements and architecture? All of these things can be discussed with a designer depending on exactly the vision that you have for the backyard. From there, they'll have that consultation, they'll take a look at your survey in greater depth, ensure that everything's aligned properly, and then upon completion of the design phase, that's when everything moves into the permitting phase. At A&G Concrete Pools, you won't have to worry about any permitting elements. You won't have to go to the city directly, nor will you have to procure any documents beyond your understanding. Now, in some instances, we'll work within HOA communities, and that's an instance where we'll provide you the necessary paperwork to go to your local HOA and make sure that everything is in accordance with their guidelines as well, along with the larger municipality. So, if I may make any recommendation, if you have any feelings of exploring a custom swimming pool, give us a call, allow yourself to have that conversation with that designer, and then see where the journey takes you from there. Our lot isn't huge. Can something beautiful still be done in a smaller backyard? We're worried we'll have to sacrifice creativity just because we don't have a ton of space. To answer this question shortly, yes, you most definitely can have a beautiful waterscape even in a smaller backyard. While certain features may not be as feasible for a smaller lot, things like large lap lanes or maybe elaborate slides, things of that nature, you can most certainly still explore a unique and customized waterscape for you and your loved ones in that space, whatever size it may be. Some individuals might prioritize swimming and have as large a depth as possible in that confined space. Others might explore something like a sport pool, which allows them to play games like basketball or volleyball in the pool by keeping a relatively shallow level throughout. Others still will explore what we call a spool, essentially a large spa beyond the standard spa dimensions that also functions as a pool body. We can include hydrotherapy jets throughout this body, sun shelves, step entries, benches, even water features walls on the back side. So there is no shortage of options available to you regardless of your lot size. Your creativity and your unique vision is going to be the greatest strength when it comes to understanding a smaller lot size. If you can imagine it, there is no doubt in my mind that our designers will be able to take that vision and shape it uniquely to the constraints of your lot, whether it be big or small. So have no fear in terms of the size of your lot. You can most certainly do something, regardless of its scale. How important is it to match the pool's design to the style of our home? Should it blend in with the architecture or stand out as a statement feature? So this question brings us back to a through line that we've had through a lot of our design-based answers so far, and that is you and your vision and your creativity. Matching the styling of your pool to your home is something that's incredibly common and something that works incredibly well because it allows your outdoor space to mimic that of the indoors and feel like one cohesive space throughout. Our designers are expertly trained in understanding the different elements of the interior of your home, whether that be unique materials, tiling, coloring, anything of that nature, and transferring those elements out into the backyard to keep that vision cohesive. Now, conversely, if you like to explore more of a statement piece with your backyard, perhaps something that deviates from the style of your home, you can certainly do that as well. There's no limitations in place that would stop you from doing so. If you have a more minimalist home but want a more resort-style backyard, there's absolutely no feature or no limitation when it comes to making that vision a reality. The entirety of the process is built upon you and your vision and how you like it executed. If you'd like to have it match the interior of your home, we most certainly can do that. If you'd like to have something that truly stands on its own as an incredible waterscape, regardless of the attached home, that's entirely feasible as well. The choice is yours, and at the end of the day, it's our job to make sure that we bring that vision to life to the absolute best of our ability to make your dream a reality. What kind of permits do we need to build a pool in Florida? And who handles that part? Is that something A&G takes care of? Or do we need to get involved in that process? So at A&G Concrete Pools, the permitting process is done entirely in-house by our team. We have our very own permit director, and she is able to take her knowledge from the entirety of the municipalities that she's worked with and create the right document package to have your waterscape approved in its respective municipality. You won't have to do any work in terms of permitting beyond signing an initial set of permit documents that your designer will provide for you. Upon the signature of those documents, we're able to go in and submit to the appropriate municipality, provide them all the information and technical specifications that they need, and get your approval roughly within 1 month. Now, in the scenario in which you're in an HOA community, there may be additional HOA approvals that are required. In these instances, we'll provide you with all the necessary documentation to go to your HOA and make sure that the plan is in accordance with any specifications unique to your neighborhood. But in terms of permitting as a whole, there's nothing that you have to worry about, and our team will take care of that entire process for you. We've heard horror stories about construction delays. What usually causes them? Is it the weather, permits, change orders, or something else entirely? So yes, construction delays are unfortunately a part of almost any construction project. There are certain things, particularly in the world of outdoor Floridian construction, that are just beyond our control. Things like inclement weather, excessive rains, even hurricanes can all affect the intended timeline of your project. Now, with that said, A&G Concrete Pools takes an incredible pride in bringing you an incredibly tight and efficient construction timeline, with most pools being completed within 6 to 8 weeks from start to finish. Now, that timeline is scheduled out ahead of time so that we know every step that will be coming down the pipeline for your project. Now, in the scenario that there is inclement weather or something that would delay us from moving forward, we'll make all the necessary preparations to the site to ensure that any damage that might be caused by severe weather can easily be mitigated and repaired in the scenario that something bad does happen. The other key cause of a construction delay would be a change order. So if you get about halfway through the process and decide you want to change your tile or perhaps change your decking material, this is something that, while feasible, does understandably cause some delays, as we'll have to go back to the manufacturer, get your new chosen material from them, and then apply it to the job. In these scenarios, delays can be entirely dependent on what the lead time for that material is, with some as short as 1 week, some stretching into the months if it's a more exclusive choice. In the scenario that nothing changes from the initial plan of material selection, there is no reason to have any significant delay with your project. We're incredibly faithful in the team that we've put together here to be able to deliver the utmost quality in an efficient time frame, and we're excited to be able to bring you that opportunity if you do provide us the opportunity to do so. When we get a quote, what exactly is included? And what counts as an upgrade? We're trying to avoid surprise costs once construction begins. This is a great question, particularly in this day's economic environment. A&G Concrete Pools will always provide you the full all-in cost of your contract upfront. There are no hidden fees, no hidden upgrade charges, and no additional costs that start once construction is commenced. We'll provide you the entirety of the amount, everything necessary from the initial permitting paperwork, the barriers needed to pass inspections at the final inspection, and every material that's a part of your job. Your quote will be determined entirely by the design and materials that you select. Some materials, like marble or porcelain, can be upgrade charges as opposed to a more standard material like concrete. When looking at tile, there's a variety of options to choose from, some being single dollar increases, some being notably more so. At the end of the day, there's a variety of options available to you, which you can customize to meet your unique financial situation. If you're looking for something that is truly one of a kind and an extravagant pool in every way, you'll have the ability to make those selections. If you're looking for something that's more in the essential pool package, something that simply allows you and your family to enjoy shared time in the water, we can create a package for that as well. Regardless of your choice, the quote that we provide to you will be the entire cost for the entire project. No hidden fees, no hidden upgrades, and no additional costs down the road. If something goes wrong during the build, like weather delays or an unexpected site issue, how does A&G handle it? Do you adjust timelines, rework plans, or communicate those changes in real time? In the scenario that something does go wrong, whether that be inclement weather such as hurricanes, an unforeseen element of the site itself, such as an increased rock level or an increased groundwater level, we'll make the necessary adjustments and inform you accordingly. You'll have access to a project manager throughout the entirety of the construction phase, and they'll be able to provide you step-by-step guidelines on what adjustments will need to be made and exactly how that's going to impact the original timeline. You'll also have access to your designer in the extenuating circumstance that one of these changes requires a change of the original design and plan. In any case, we'll be in contact with you throughout the entirety of the process, and there's no element that will surprise you because our team will communicate that long before a shovel ever hits the ground or long before any adjustment may need to be made. Do we need to be home during construction days? We're wondering if we should plan to be around or if it's okay to go about our normal schedule. While you certainly may observe the construction of the A&G Concrete Pools team, there is no need to impact your current plans to watch them do so. Every project has a dedicated project manager who will be overseeing each phase of construction, ensuring only the highest quality results for your custom waterscape. If you have questions for your project manager or questions about the project as a whole, you'll have them as well as your designer as a resource throughout, able to ask any questions and get clarification on elements you may not initially understand. There's never any question that's inappropriate to ask, so feel free to contact your project manager if you're not sure about what might currently be going on, what stage comes next, or an element that you see in your backyard. Is pool construction loud or disruptive to everyday life? We both work from home, so we're curious whether we'll need to relocate during key phases. The answer to this question is entirely dependent on which phase of construction your project is currently in. For phases such as the initial dig or the shooting of the gunite shell, those phases can be louder as heavy machinery is used and there's quite a bit of coordination required to make sure that everything is going as planned. However, phases like form and steel, plumbing, or even tile setting can be far quieter and won't have any impact on your ability to enjoy your home or complete work during your time at home. Ultimately, while construction is inherently a disruptive process, the A&G team will do everything in their power to make it as minimal as possible, allowing you to carry on about your day just as you would any other. Who should we talk to if we have a concern during the construction process? Is our main point of contact the designer, the project manager, or someone else entirely? So we've alluded to this in a few of our previous answers, but during the construction process, your project manager is going to be the best resource available to you. They have a full understanding of the schedule that your project is currently on, the phases that have come before and will be coming next, as well as the unique elements involved in your project, whether that be features, different equipment sets, or even the materials used on the job site. Of course, you'll still have your designer available to you with any additional questions, but in terms of intricacies involving the construction process itself, your project manager is going to be your best resource for any and all questions. At the very beginning of the construction phase, you'll meet with your project manager and be provided all of their contact information, so they're never more than a call away for any question that you may have. We've heard saltwater pools are better than chlorine. Is that actually true? What's the real difference when it comes to maintenance, comfort, and cost? As a standard element of all A&G concrete pools, we highly recommend the use of a saltwater system. Now, not to dive too deeply into the unique chemistry of each pool, a salt generator generates chlorine through a salt cell. However, the method in which that salt cell produces said chlorine is far softer, creates a far more comfortable water, and doesn't come with any of the traditional chlorine smell that you might associate with a larger public pool. Salt systems also provide general ease when it comes to maintenance because their continual production of a consistent amount of salt allows the body of water to be regulated with a certain chemical balance. This means that you won't ever have to add any tablets of chlorine nor pour any chlorine liquid into the pool itself. This allows you to enjoy your pool anytime and not have to wait for any chemicals to dissolve or dissipate. In the circumstance a salt system will not work for you or your loved ones for whatever reason, we do have the ability to install traditional chlorine systems as well. However, roughly 99% of all pools produced by A&G do include a saltwater system, and our team is incredibly familiar with their installation as well as their maintenance during and beyond the warranty period. What kind of tile or surface finish holds up the best over time? We want something that won't fade, crack, or need early replacement. What's most durable? Every material offered by A&G for your waterscape has been field tested and applied in a variety of different situations to ensure durability across any set of circumstances. Whether you choose from deck materials like concrete, brick pavers, travertine, marble, or porcelain, or tile options that range from mosaic to glass, all of our materials have been graded to ensure their longevity. The same may be said for the interior finishes. Each finish is composed of a unique aggregate, including small pieces of stone, glass, and an overall base. These finishes routinely last between 12 and 15 years, providing peace of mind to you in reference to their longevity. In the scenario there is an issue after the initial construction of your swimming pool, all A&G Concrete Pools come with a 1-year warranty, which would cover any material involved and can ensure that in the scenario if something does go wrong, you are completely covered at no cost to you. Do we really need a heater for a pool in Florida? The winters here are mild, but we'd love to use the pool year-round if possible. A heater is a great option when it comes to giving you further longevity into those winter months to enjoy your swimming pool. Heaters can be powered by either gas or electricity, each with their own benefits. But regardless of the model that you select, a heater allows you to raise that temperature of the main body of water and a spa as well to something that's far more comfortable. In the scenario that you're unsure of whether or not you'd like to install a heater, we can always provide you an extended equipment pad, accounting for a future heater if possible, and do all necessary wiring. So if you'd like to make that addition, it can be done incredibly easy and incredibly quickly. Ultimately, the decision is yours. But for as mild as a Floridian winter may be, water temperatures can still reach into the low 60s, and it's often nicer to have that body warmed up to a high 70 or low 80 range for any kind of winter swimming. What kind of smart features can be added to a pool system these days? Can we really control everything? Lighting, temperature, jets, from our phones? Yes, you most certainly can control all of those elements from your phone. A&G Concrete Pools partners with Jandy to use their iAqualink system integrated directly into each element of your equipment so that you have access to all of those pieces of equipment from your phone, anywhere, at any time. Features available to you through that platform include changing the temperature of your pool and spa, activating certain features, controlling different lighting settings, and a variety of other features, all available from your smartphone. Upon the completion of your waterscape, one of our certified service technicians will come out to your property and walk you through the entirety of the iAqualink system so you have full familiarity with all the necessary elements, as well as additional features that you may be able to access exclusively from your device. Smart technology in swimming pools is becoming more and more prominent, and we only expect these features to grow as we continue to move into the future. How often does a pool need to be resurfaced or renovated? Are there any clear signs it's time to start thinking about it? In the case of a gunite swimming pool, built to the standards with which A&G holds itself, most renovations don't need to occur until the 15-year mark. Now, in these instances, you'll often see signs of visible wear or an overall sense of fading from the colors present, whether that be in the tile or in the interior finish. In these instances, A&G Concrete Pools can take your original pool plan, review it, and determine the best course of action for your new version of your waterscape. If you'd like to add certain features, whether that be a spa or water features, simply switch out a tile and do a resurfacing, or consider an entirely new waterscape in the space of the original. Our team has a wealth of experience in doing a variety of renovations and will be able to assist you in whatever way suits you best. If you could recommend just one must-have feature for a new pool, what would it be? We want to be sure we don't miss out on something we'll wish we had later. Now, this final question is one that'll be answered differently by every individual. Again, it's so heavily dependent on taste and your unique desires for your space. Personally, I would always advocate for exploring the entirety of the tiles available to you and picking the option that suits you best. In the case of most tile, upgrades are often just a few dollars per linear foot, meaning an incredibly low cost to customize a pool to your exact visual preference. With local manufacturers like Artistry and Mosaics, as well as larger manufacturers like National Pool Tile, there is a true wealth of options available to you, and I would highly recommend exploring all of those, figuring out what suits your space as well as your eye the best, and making sure that your waterscape is one designed and defined entirely by you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on this special episode of Beneath the Surface. If you have any of your own questions that you'd like answered, feel free to leave them in our comment section and we make sure to include them in our next episode where we do this format once again. But in the meantime, we're excited to bring you our standard format with more guests, more in-house employees, more trade partners, and a variety of individuals to help paint the picture of all that A&G Concrete Pools is. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.